Okay, hello there. I dropped a screw in my computer when I was trying to clean the fan. Could not find the screw, so I tore everything apart in the computer looking for the screw. And being there was an extreme amount of dust from the years and years of using it, I figure I might as well clean it up. So I took everything apart, cleaned everything up on it, cleaned all the plastic parts, dusted off all the electronical parts. You got to be very careful what you use on electrical parts. If you want to get anything clean for electrical parts, I would recommend alcohol, 100% alcohol, because the alcohol does not damage anything like other chemicals do, and alcohol dries very quickly, but it is a very good cleaner. So anyways, time to put this together. This is an old Roswell case. When I say old, I mean this is extremely an old case, because this is a very old computer. Very, very old. In fact, when one of these days I might have to build me a new computer so that I can play with the computer even more. These are my power button and reset button, power light and hard drive light. I had to take this off of here so I could clean this piece here. But I use hot soap and water to clean all this stuff, and then I let it dry overnight. So these things here still got a little bit of dust on them, but it's kind of hard to clean. And things when you're worried about power tools, gotta love them. So there are certain things you use power tools for and certain things that you don't. And when you're putting things down with screws like this, you want to make sure that you don't torque anything down all the way, so you make sure that you get a good proper fit within the screws, or you might torque it down and then a hole might not line up with another hole and all that. So computers are extremely easy to work on. Never had any issues with ever when putting a computer together, although when you order stuff off the internet you never know what you're going to get. You know, things do come up dead on arrival, and you just work and send it back to them, and hopefully they'll send you a good working one. When I built this computer, I bought a 2 terabyte hard drive for it, and the hard drive lasted all about right as the warranty wore out, and they were brand new. You know, right, brand new, so there was no, just come out on the market. So, okay, here's my case with it all, everything torn apart. I don't know if you can see this too well. I might have to readjust my camera and move it up higher so I can get everything in here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So, and it looks like that might be the case here. Let me try moving it. Okay. Nope. Got it all taken care of. Anyways, this is my case. I need to put everything back together. I took the motherboard out, the power supply, all the fans, took it in, washed everything down with hot soapy water, and it's all clean. So now I just have to find out where I put all the pieces. Oh, here's a part to it that I have to actually bolt back onto the case right here. Okay. I've got this USB, and this is for a SATA drive, but I don't know where to find the cable to use it. But I never use it. I don't have to worry about it because I got plenty of SATAs on my computer. So notice some of these springs right here are worn down, but okay. And now I have to put these things on here here, make sure all feeds in there. I said you always want to be careful when you're putting stuff together. Always line the holes up correctly. So that I'm making this video, and my brother wants me to put it on YouTube, and I yet don't know if I will or not. So we'll see on that. And I hope I haven't lost any of the screws for this, because that would be really sucky. But thank God, when you buy cases and motherboards and stuff like that, they come with extra screws. And if not, I've had plenty of I've built thousands of computers, so I've got computer stuff all over the place. I wish I would have known then what I know now about recycling of computers, because I've recycled enough computers, I probably would have got at least half a pound of gold out of them if I would have recycled them for the gold form. Okay, here is all my hard drives right here. Here, let me move this. All my hard drives are in its own little rack right here. I got a fan right here to help blow to keep them all cool. So that's that. So anyways, I'll put the hard drive in. I will slide it. Slides in right down here. Like I said, this is an old Roswell case, and it's really old. I don't know what to say. But make sure all the screw holes in here line up before I decide to put these screws in here. I got a whole mess of screws in here to put all my drives in. And I want to put my hard drives in first, and then I will put the motherboard in. I just want my hard drives in right now, and then I'm going to install my motherboard, processor, and all that first before I put my DVD drives in. So, like I said, don't ever tighten screws down until you got all the screw holes aligned up correctly. It will definitely save you a lot of time. Well, not a lot, but a little bit of time. Because then if you can't get it in correctly, you're either going to ruin the screw or the hole or the whatever. Once you get them all lined in there correctly, then it's okay to torque them down. You want these things to be snug. You don't want to torque them down where you're going to strip out anything. You just want them snug. So some people might even put thread lock on them, which in my opinion is stupid. So, because you might have to take it out. If I want to take the hard drives out of here, if I have to replace one of the hard drives inside here, I have to take this whole case out in order to get the hard drive out. Okay, now that I got the hard drive in, let's get these wires out of the way. Oh, scatter some screws there. Normally I put screws in a little dish to keep them all together, but being that I did this kind of hurriedly and I was actually kind of drunk when I did it, and I just put the screws on the table and hope I haven't lost one. Okay. This here is my motherboard, and just if you guys ever know, if you look it up, you Google it and stuff, that's what it is. It's an ASUS, or it's a Gigabyte motherboard, and it's definitely old. If you Google this number, you would know that it's really old. It was state of the art at one time. So, okay, now to put in a motherboard. You got your motherboard. You got this, all motherboards, when you buy a motherboard, when you build it, they have little plates for the back of the motherboard for right here. These plates are made of steel, and they got little fins right here to touch here, and it helps ground the case and the motherboard together, because you always have to worry about grounding. And there's a little box right here that it just pops right in. this pops right into place, normally anyways. So, just like so. Oh, pop into place. Pop into place. There you go. She's in there now. Okay, this is what my motherboard looks like. Maybe I should, let me turn on my light here. And let me close my blinds because you're getting a lot of glare from my blinds. Okay. I just like plenty of light in here when I do this. Anyways, here's my motherboard. This is what it looks like. There's a socket right there is where the CPU goes in. So anyways, what you want to do is when you get a motherboard, there's certain spots on the inside the case here, like here, 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 that you can't see that I'm pointing over here. Well, maybe through the screen. But that's where the motherboard screws down into place. I have a pin right here that goes through this hole right here, right here on the motherboard, so it holds it in place. So what you do is you kind of angle this thing in so it fits right into where they need to go onto this pin, and push down a little bit and it pops right into place right where that pin is. And you get plenty of pressure to help hold this in place, and this helps hold it so it doesn't break in the middle and stuff, and you get a good ground. Now we get to screw it in. I think these are the screws, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. We will see. Wow, that's not right in there in place just yet because it's side over here. Huh. Okay. I'm going to break the motherboard. How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, these are the screws. Alrighty. I'm going to start this one over here in the corner because those tension on those is just pushing it out. I don't. Boy, that really is fitting in there nice and a little snug. Oh, adjust it. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on here, but let's get one here started, hold it into place. Okay, that's still, it's not snug or anything like that, so I can still get a little bit of movement out of the case, or off the motherboard in the case here. So, a lot of people worry about grounding out for static electricity and all that. I don't really super stress on it, but I always touch the case. I'm always touching with the finger somewhere when I'm working with electronics, because if you're going to do a static discharge, it's better to do it off the case than off of the motherboard itself. That's dropped another screw in there. So that at least if you guys ever decide to work and you ever drop a screw in here, make sure if you open up the case, you shut the power off and unplug it. Some people say wait 24 hours because you get capacitors in here that do store electricity. So and you definitely want to be aware of static electricity on here. They do sell bands, arm bands that you can wear, and you just clamp it onto a ground, onto the whatever you're working on, and those work really good, and you don't have to sit and touch the case for it. I mean, it'd be really nice if they actually had a motherboard that would just click into place for quick release instead of having to screw it down, but you know, the screws will hold it in place from any vibration or anything like that. So, oops. Everyone's wondering about my shaking. It's because I have tremors. At least that's what the doctor tells me. Hard to say. So, 3 more to do, and then I can tighten all the screws down, and this motherboard will be placed into the case. Now, I've been working on computers so long, this is no big deal to me. There's some people that are scared to death of working on computers, and I just don't know why people are so scared to work on them. They're really super simple, but some people are mechanically inclined and others aren't. So, I'm pretty good at tearing things apart and putting them back together, and been like that all my life. Enjoy working on stuff like this, keeps the brain busy. I always want to have to keep the brain busy, because if you have, you know, problems and issues, then you sit there and dwell on them, and that's not healthy to sit and dwell on them. Okay. Like I said, you don't want these things torqued down so tight that you start stripping them out. You just want them down there nice and snug. So that's the way all the screws should be. It's just nice and snug. I don't know if it foot-pounds per square inch mean anything or anything like that, but I don't know. I just know from experience from it. Okay, there's my motherboard, nice and into the case. So, alright, now that I got that done, now I'm going to install my processor. So, turn this so that you can see where the processing socket is. Okay, now this little arm locks the processor inside the socket. So when you put a processor in, you lift up that little arm. This is an AMD processor right there. I don't know if you can read the lettering on it, I don't know, but anyways, to put a processor in, they got this little gold right here. They have a little gold triangle, and you look down onto the processor in these 4 corners, and there's a little triangle right here. And if you don't see the little triangle or anything like that, just turn it over. You can see where the back of the processor's missing some pins on there, and down here on the socket it shows where the pins are missing, and it's, you know, pretty easy to see. Well, the processor goes right here, but I can see the little triangle right here, and that's where that little triangle goes. What you do is you take it and you just set it in there just like this. It just pops right into place. You want to be very careful with processors. You don't want to reef on them, put any pressure on them. They just pop. They just fall right into place, just like that. And because there's a ton of little pins in there that if you bend one, and chances are you're going to have to go buy yourself a new processor. You put that arm down. See how I did that? Put that arm down right there. It locks it into place. Now that processor is locked into place.